You know, I don't know if there's a hell. I like to believe there's not. But if there is, every person, I'm only human, you contemplate if there is, what's it like, you know? You hear these stories of fire, of hot, you know, and bad, and torture and just horrible stuff. I think that I have some some video for you that is my hell. All right, if I were to describe what, let's say this way, in the Luke dictionary, next to hell, you have boats for Trump parade. Okay, that's where my hell is. A boats for Trump rally. And maybe I'll dive more into why that is after we watch some of these videos. Let me just say quickly before the first Marjorie Taylor Greene boat for Trump video that a part of it is boat culture merging with Trump culture, merging with cult, right? All those together. I don't have as much fun out in the lake, bare chest, right? Being a man with a brewski on a boat. Boats, brewskis, boys. I don't have as much fun as I wish that I could. Getting sunburnt. Anyways, that's too much about myself. Let's talk about MTG. She was so excited about this. I think it's in Georgia somewhere. Let's see here. We'll find out as we watch this. Yeah, in Georgia. And so she had to make an appearance. And I have a bunch of videos and photos that we'll talk about. And then we'll get, as I like to do, we'll weave into this some more substance-based things.
Hey everybody, we have got to win this November in 2024. I need you guys to sign up at TrumpForce47.com. We got to make it too big to rig. We can't let the Democrats steal this election again. Georgia has got to turn out for President Trump. Let's go Georgia, let's go Trump.
I've said this before. If you find yourself, if you just sort of stumble into a situation where you're on a boat, among other boats, at a parade, being led by Marjorie Taylor Greene, screaming, "We got to make this election too big to rig." Somewhere, as you were navigating life, I get it. It's confusing. Life's complicated. But as you were driving your car down that path we call life, you took a wrong turn. You did. Okay, that's how you got on that boat with your Trump flag. Something, it wasn't supposed to happen that way. And I invite you, you can keep the boat if you want to do the boats and brewskis. You can do it. Just maybe take the Trump flag down and stop following MTG in this parade. Just a weird way to spend your Sunday. But she also posted, happening now, massive Trump boat parade on Lake Allatoona in northwest Georgia. Georgia is Trump country and is going to send him back to the White House in November. The energy is incredible. With all that is going on right now in American politics, it feeling like we're on the world's most aggressive, not that fun roller coaster, bumpy, jerking us around. If you appreciate this show in particular and you want to show your support for it and help us continue to grow, you can do so. It's easy, free, simple, just by clicking that subscribe button. If you haven't already, please do so. Thank you so much. Back to the video. And you have this. You know, I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum here, but I think we could have used less than 58 seconds, so I'm not going to play the whole 58 seconds. Just a super cut of her waving at boats, which, by the way, in a lot of these, she's waving and nobody's waving back, but we'll not put too much emphasis on that. But by the way, when she says too big to rig, that's their new phrase. We went through in a different segment today how every lawsuit, every allegation, every bad news story, every criminal trial, every civil trial, every election that Trump doesn't lose, it's all rigged against MAGA, right, in their mind. So one of the points I made is if this powerful they, is so powerful, then why would you think that you can win too big to rig? Trump is one of the most unpopular figures that we've had in a long time. He was historically unpopular throughout his presidency. And even though I have a much more positive view of Biden's, I'll admit he also has really a struggle with his approval rating. So you have these two figures that are both polling-wise pretty unpopular figures. And why you believe you could have such a landslide for one of the unpopular, in the case of Trump, who is, so divisive. You thinking that can be so massive that the powerful people who were able to rig everything. Trump gets a bad score in golf. Crooked Joe rigged it, right? That's the headspace these folks are in. And Marjorie gets a sunburn on the boat. It's Crooked Joe, all right? You have too hot of a sun in Biden's America. And somehow they believe still that they won't be powerful enough to rig, which they're not going to because they're lying, obviously. But I'm just saying, in their mind, how do you think if Dominion can just, with a click of a button, flip votes from Trump to Biden? How do you believe that you could just vote in such large numbers they would be unable of clicking that button? I don't know. I don't get it. The conspiracy theories don't make sense. Can you believe it? Here's another video. No one's waving at her there, I don't think. Welcome. You've entered the gates of hell. So I already said I'm not the biggest boat boy, but I also am not the biggest hearing horns constantly person. Does that make me weird? Not liking to hear brrr as you go down the river or the lake. I feel like one of the things that's nice about being on a boat is sort of the quiet tranquility. But instead you have to hear brrr and Marjorie Taylor Greene going, too big to rig! Woo! She also posted, you won't see numbers like this or this type of energy anywhere else. The American people are out in full force and ready to fight for our country. Make America great again. So the normal stuff there. And then you have her saying that Biden should be thrown overboard.
Oh, save America! Win! Let's go, Trump! We gotta kick Biden overboard.
We cover, some say, too much. I think a justified amount given her prominence and how she represents a movement that's disturbing. But we cover, admittedly, a lot MTG. And I've become accustomed to angry MTG, right? And so even though it's shocking when she's really angry, saying that some guy in a recent video we looked at, he's not even a man, or other quotes that I'm not going to read back to you. While it's bad and I'm uncomfortable, it's equilibrium. So I'm sort of able to handle it. But when I see her that giddy, that happy, let's kick Biden overboard, woo! Laughing that much, that's almost more chilling somehow, even though you'd think it'd be better. And as for Biden being thrown overboard, or the potential of it, the metaphor, of course, she's referring to the general election. But right now there's a big conversation going on about, is the Democratic Party going to do that? Or, said better, is Biden going to allow, I guess for lack of a better phrase, is he going to throw himself overboard? I'm not loving this metaphor, but let's continue forward. And it sounded like he came out swinging in a Morning Joe interview. Wherever you stand on that debate, he should or he shouldn't be the nominee. He is making pretty clear, at least publicly, that that's not happening. Here he was calling into Morning Joe.
Number two, remember all this talk about how I don't have the black support? Come on, give me a break. Come with me. Watch. I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more. But if any of these guys don't think I should run against me, go ahead, announce for president. Challenge me at the convention. You know, on Europe, the polls are wrong in France. They're also right, there's no right wave or tide here in America either. By the way, in case you're wondering whether there is one, have you ever seen Trump run away so fast from what he's for?
Yeah, and then he gets into when he's referring to what Trump's for the Project 2025 plan, but stop it there. Maybe looking at more of those clips on the bonus show. We will see. You can get the bonus show by clicking the join button below, I should say, not at a URL. But there, let me say this, because we've done the coverage. I'm trying to, as I've said before, balancing, making sure we're proportional in our coverage, not giving overemphasis, but also giving transparent coverage of the very real doubts, justified concerns, especially post-debate. So all that, let's set that aside, put it on the bookshelf for now. Separate from if you think this should be his tone on this, it's sort of refreshing to see aggressive Biden, because if he is staying in the race, this is what we need until November. Shot out of a cannon, right? Him saying, the elites think they know better, they don't. That's what people want to hear. Even if, polling-wise, it seems like a lot of Democratic voters do want him to drop out, but if he's the guy, he did win in the primaries that took place, and he is the incumbent president. He does have an impressive record. And so if he's staying in, then he needs to bring that energy that we saw in this this morning interview with Morning Joe and be aggressive. Because that's, I think, the easiest route to convincing people you're sharp enough to stay in the Oval Office. He did reference the defeat of the far right in France. Here were the celebrations after that was announced. Just unbelievable crowds. And you know what? Yes, it crossed my mind. It did. Imagining myself in a crowd like that on November, whenever the election is ultimately decided. It may take a couple days if it's really close to count all the votes, but 6th, 7th, going out to the streets and celebrating the defeat of Trump, right? That would be so incredible. But right now, it does seem a little bit frightening, but I think it's still absolutely possible. I'll leave it there. There's more, but we've gone on too long, so I'll leave it there. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to get the extra content I mentioned, the bonus show, and support the work we do, you can do so by clicking the join button below.